Hello. I am the Linux Mensch. Today I'm going to take a look at AntiX Linux. They came out with a new ISO a few weeks ago, and I'm going to download it, install it, and take it for a spin. So let's get to it. I'm at the main page of the AntiX Linux website, and they have all kinds of information here that you can read and look at if you feel up to it. And I'm just going to click on download right here. And they released their most recent ISO, August 27th, was just a few weeks ago. And like I said, they're based on Debian 12, which is the most recent Debian. And they claim to be light and they're able to work on old computers. They can work on 32-bit or 64-bit. So they're one of the very few Linux distributions. They might be the only one, but one of the very few Linux distributions that still run on 32-bit. Anyways, most computers now are 64-bit, and also they don't run on systemd. Now, I'm not a systemd hater. As a matter of fact, I love systemd, and it's the one I know best. Well, it's really the only one I know. But they run on systemv, they run on sysvinet or runit. And they claim here that if you don't know which one to choose, you should choose the default, which is sysvinet. But it's up to you which one you want to use. And what I'm going to do is just scan down here. And I'm going to download. Now, I've already downloaded it, but this was the one I downloaded. I downloaded the sysvinet version, AntiX 23 full 64-bit. I clicked on this link and I downloaded it. So now I'm going to set up a virtual machine. I'm going to go through an install. I'm going to go through an update. And I'm going to play with it and configure it and take it for a drive and let you decide whether you like it or not. So I'm just booting up into the live ISO. And you can use your arrow keys to go up and down. I'm just going to boot into legacy kernel. You can choose a modern kernel. Let's just do legacy kernel. And I'm just going to do normal boot. And we're booting into the live ISO. And here we are. We're in live ISO. So I'm not going to play with this right now. I'm just going to go and do an install. So let's click on this icon here to start the installer. So it's just going to take a moment. Okay. So we're at the installer. I'm going to click next. You can see I have a 50 gig hard drive. And right here it says you can encrypt it. So I'm going to click on encrypt. I'm going to type in my encryption password. It's super weak. I'm going to confirm my encryption password. And I'm going to click on next. I'm going to click on yes. And the computer name is, I'm going to call it AntiX2 because I already have another one in there. So I've already been playing with it. And then I'm going to click on next. I'm going to click on, let's see if we have Canada. I'm going to click on Canada English. And I'm going to click on Eastern. I'm going to click on system clock uses local time. I'm going to leave it on PM, but you can change it to 24-hour clock. I'm going to leave it on PM or AM PM, as they call it. I'm going to click on next. And my username is Mensch. Mensch's password is that, super weak. Let's repeat it. And I'm going to click on root administration account. You can leave it off, but I'm going to make a root account. And I'm going to click on next. And we're just going to let it go through the install. And by the way, the downloading the ISO is really fast. The ISO is only 1.8 gig, which is pretty light for an ISO. And also, this installation is very fast. And I can say that because I already went through an installation and I've already played with the system in preparing myself to make this video. And as you can see, we're at 62% already. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the video for a minute or two until this is finished, and I'll be back. And it looks like it's almost finished, right? 85%. Look how fast this install is going. I think this is one of the fastest installations of all the Linux distributions. And we're already at 93%. Isn't that amazing? 95. Oh, that didn't take long at all. Only took about a minute and a half or so to do the whole installation. So now it's clicked on to automatically reboot. I'm going to click on finish. And it's rebooting, and I'm going to come back. So we've rebooted into the system, and now it says display output is not active. That's not really true. If you look at the top, it's asking me to unlock the disk because I encrypted it. So I'm going to put my encryption password in and hit enter. And now it's going to boot up and it's going to take me to the login manager. And now we're at the login manager. And look at this. Isn't that nice? It's a really beautiful login manager. So I'm going to type in my name, Mensch, hit enter. I'm going to put my password in. And now we're logged into the system. And they have Conky here. This is a window manager. And right now you can see we are running at 209 megabytes of RAM. Isn't that amazing? This is really light, especially considering it's based on Debian, because Debian usually runs a little bit higher than Arch Linux. And of course, I use Arch, by the way. But anyways, considering this is based on Debian, even though it's a window manager, it's running really light. Now we're at 212 megabytes of RAM. But anyways, so the first thing I want to do is I'm going to right click. I'm going to go into Control Center. And you know what? Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to go into Control Center and I'm going to click on System. And I'm going to click on Set Date and Time. I wasn't going to do that first, but let's do it because the date is off. The time is off. Sorry. The time is off and I don't know why. So I'm going to put my password in and set current time. It's not 10 o'clock p.m. I don't know why it's saying that. Whoops. Let's get out of there. Here. Okay. So it is 6 o'clock. Whoops. Why did it do that? Oh, okay. Okay. And there it is. We're at 6 o'clock, 6:04. Whoop. It's at a.m. Why is it doing that? I guess is this 24-hour time? Oh, it is. Okay. It's fixed. Up here it says 18:04. And down below it says 6:04. Okay. So next what I want to do is quit out of there, close this, and I want to go back, right click it, and I want to go to Control Center. I'm going to go to System. Actually, I'm going to go to Software. I'm going to go down here to Repo Manager. I'm going to click it, and I'm going to click on Canada Waterloo. So this is a mirror. That's not too far from me. It's at the University of Waterloo. And I'm going to click that on because I prefer to have a local mirror. So I'm going to apply it. So when you say hit apply, it tells you your new selection will take effect the next time sources are updated. So I clicked on University of Waterloo, Canada. I'm going to OK it. I'm going to close it. Let's close it. Let's close it. Now I'm going to go to a terminal. Let's go into the terminal. And they're using the ROX terminal. Okay. So I'm going to go to Preferences, Edit Current Profile. Let's bring this up here. Font. I'm going to go to, let's try making it bold. Let's go to 16 and see if that's too much. And I'm going to make it more. I'm going to make it 20. There we go. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do X render. Let's just do X render like that. And I'm going to change this to 1360 by 768. So I'm going to do X render S 1360 by 768. Let's see if that works. Oh, that's better. And now I'm going to clear the screen and I'm going to do sudo apt update. And we're just going to update the system. And we can see it's going pretty fast, but we can see it's coming from the University of Waterloo. So my mirrors, the change I made in the mirrors took effect. And that's done. So now I'm going to do sudo apt upgrade. Hit enter. And hit enter. And it's upgrading the system. Okay, so that update took about a minute and a half, maybe 2.5 minutes. It was pretty fast. So now I'm going to do sudo. So now I'm going to reboot into the system. I'm going to do sudo reboot. And I'm rebooting into the system. So I'm going to pause the video and come back when it's rebooted. Okay, so now I booted into the system. My system is updated. And this system has a lot of window managers in it. And if you right click on the menu and you go to desktop, and even before I get there, so they have a menu here, and they also have right click menu here. And we have applications here, and you can go here, and there's multimedia. They have Celluloid, which is a video player. They have MPV, which is a video player. If we go to Office, they have the full Office suite. And if we go to Internet, they have Firefox ESR. And down here in Internet, this is another thing I want to do, and this is interesting because it took me a while to find it. They have uncomplicated firewall, but it's in the menu, it's in Internet. So you have to go into Applications, Internet, and here it is here, uncomplicated firewall. So let's click that on. I'm going to put my password in. I'm going to OK it. And I'm going to click on Enable Firewall. And now the firewall is set. And now I'm going to go to a terminal and just make sure I want to check it out. And let's make the terminal full screen. I'm going to do sudo uncomplicated firewall status. And it's active. And then I'm going to add verbose just to see what's going on. So the firewall is going to deny all incoming and allow outgoing. So the firewall is turned on and it's hardened. So I'm going to close the terminal. And now we're running at 248 megabytes of RAM, which is pretty good. Now, another interesting thing about this distribution is it has, you go to desktop, and then you go to other desktop. It has all these window managers here. Now, I'm not familiar with any of these window managers, even the one that we're in right now, which is ZZZ ICE WM. I'm not familiar with it. It has all kinds of menus within menus. And what's interesting about this is that you can switch between window managers without logging out. And what's the advantage of that? Well, the advantage of that is that if you have different window managers and desktops on other distributions and you want to switch into another window manager or another desktop, you have to log out, you have to put your username back in, and you have to put your password back in. Well, here you can switch back and forth, and let's try it. So I'm going to go to other desktops. Let's switch to Flexbox. Let's click it on, and now we're in Flexbox. Looks almost the same, right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to go into a terminal. I'm going to make the terminal full screen. I'm going to start in the terminal. I'm going to download a bunch of apps and packages and make things the way I like them to be. So I'm going to do sudo apt install awesome Xterm Git Vim. I'm not sure if Vim is already installed or not. Well, let's see. We'll install it after. Let's wait a minute. So I can do awesome Xterm Git Papyrus icon theme. Oh, let's do Zesh. And I know there's a few other things I want to install. Can't think of them right now, so let's just do these for now. Let's hit enter, and it's installing them. And I guess I'll just pause the video for a moment. Okay, so that didn't take long. Now I'm going to download my GitLab repository. So I'm going to do git clone https gitlab.com/artibus1/mensch.git. Now, if you want to download my GitLab repository, you can. And if this is too hard for you to remember or type out, this command is in the show notes of all my videos. So, I just cloned my GitLab repository. I'm going to do ls, and let's clear the screen. Let's do ls again. And this mensch here is my GitLab repository. I'm going to close this, and I'm going to exit. Let's log out. So now we're at the login screen, and I'm going to type in, I'm going to do F1. See here, press F1 to change session type. You know what? I didn't even have to do that. Let's go to Awesome. Put my username in. I'm going to put my password in, And now we're going to log into the default Awesome Window Manager. Now, this screen here is interesting. What this screen is whenever we log into Awesome, this screen is going to come up and it's going to give us the option of logging into one of the other window managers. Okay? But I'm not going to log into anything else. I'm going to stay in Awesome for a minute. And this is the default Debian Awesome. Now, the default Debian Awesome has a fuller menu. So if you download the default Awesome in Arch Linux, the right-click menu is going to be very bare. It's going to have hardly anything in it. But when you download the default Awesome Window Manager in Debian or Debian-based distribution, the menu has more in it. Now it looks empty, but if we go to Debian here and go to applications, all your applications are in here. And I know it's small and hard to read. I apologize for that. And everything's in here. And this menu is interactive. So the menu in Arch Linux and the menu that I use in my configuration file is static. So if you download a new application, you have to go into the configuration file and put that app in the menu. Whereas this Debian menu is interactive. So when you download a new application, it's going to automatically go in the menu. So you can just keep this the way it is if you want. Everything's in here. Applications. I know it's hard to see, eh? But what I'm going to do is I'm going to install my configuration file. So I'm going to open up the terminal and I'm going to, what am I going to do? I'm going to cd into mench. This is my GitLab repository. And like I said, I have an Arch folder, a Debian folder, FreeBSD, Linux Mint Ubuntu folder. I'm going to cd into the Debian folder. And I'm going to ls it. And I'm going to clear the screen at ls-a. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this awesome folder into my .config file. So cp -R awesome tilde -config. Hit enter, and I'm going to close that, and I'm going to restart the Awesome Window Manager. Click on restart, and now we have my configuration of the Awesome Window Manager. Look how small Xterm is. Now we have Xterm installed, but the font is small and the background is blinding white. So I'm going to fix this. And until I do, I'm going to hit the super key and the P, and I'm going to type in terminal. I'm going to go back into the terminal that came with this distribution. It's called Xterm. And let's cd back into my mench directory. Let's ls it. Let's cd into Debian. ls-a. So now I'm going to copy xtenant rc period x resources period z history period zesh rc. Copy it into my home directory. Now I'm going to close this and I'm going to quit out of there, and I'm going to put my name back in mench. I'm going to put my password back in, and let's see if, oh, and that comes up again. So it's asking me if I want to switch to one of the other window managers. I'm just going to click OK to leave it as it is. And then I'm going to click on, let's open up my Xterm. So what I'm going to do is, let's go into Xterm. Let's type in Vim period X resources. And I'm going to change, I'm going to change this to false to true. I'm going to save the file, close it. I'm going to log out, and I'm going to put mention, put my password in, and let's see if it fixed it. Let's close this, and there it is. Xterm is fixed. It has nice font, nice and large to read, and black screen. So now I'm going to do sudo apt install cinnamon. Well, let's just do that for now. Let's hit enter and let's let it go through. Just going to pause this while it's downloading cinnamon. Okay, now another thing I want to do is sudo apt install pcman-fm. I'm starting to remember some of the things that I like to have. Now another thing I'm going to do is sudo apt install xfc4 power manager. And and I spelled that wrong. And I'm going to download that. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit my super key in the P, and I'm going to type in power. I'm going to go into the power manager. It's not running. Would you like it to launch it now? Yes. I'm going to open it. I'm going to go to display. I'm going to turn off the power manager because I don't like my screen going off and I don't like my computer going to sleep. Now I'm going to hold the super key and hit the P and type in custom. And I'm going to pick away to dark and icon. I'm going to pick on Papyrus Dark. I'm going to apply it and let's just see if it's stuck. Let's do PCman-FM. There we are. We're in my file manager, PCman-FM. And let's go back to Power Manager and see if that's dark, and it will be. Now we have our dark theme. Now I'm going to go back to Xterm, CD into Mensch Arch. I'm going to go into the Arch folder. I'm going to cat this file here, this vimrc file. Okay, I'm going to cat it. vimrc. And I'm going to open up another workspace. And I'm going to go into Xterm. And I'm going to CD into Etsy. ls it. I'm going to CD into Vim. ls it. Clear the screen. Let's ls it. And I'm going to open up this file here, vimrc. Okay. So I'm going to type in, okay, let's do sudo vimrc. And I'm going to go down. I'm just going to leave some space here. And I'm going to go here. And I'm going to copy all this. I'm going to paste it in. Okay. And now I'm going to save the file. Let's CD. Let's get out of there. Vim into my zsrc. And it's working. Perfect. Okay, and let's make a new file. Let's do vim test text. And there's no, the tildes aren't there. So it's working. My vimrc file is working. Okay, now another thing I want to do is let's test out to see if Zesh is working. And my Zesh is working. Yay! So now I'm going to change into root, put my password in. I want to see if Zesh is working in root. And it is. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do vim Etsy password. And I'm going to change this top line to Zesh. And I'm going to go down to the bottom line. On the second bottom line where Mensch is, and I'm going to change this to Zesh. I'm going to save the file. And I'm going to close out of there. And I'm going to close this one. Go to this workspace. I'm going to close it. And I'm going to quit. And I'm going to log back in. And let's see. Whoops, we got that up there. And now, Zesh is my file. My default file, that is. Let's go into root. And Zesh is the default file in root. Now, let's see if we can switch into Cinnamon. So what I'm going to do is hold down the super key and hit the P. And I'm going to type in other. So here now, of course, in case you're not familiar with the Awesome Window Manager, There's a built-in menu on the top, and if you hold down the super key and the P, that menu comes up, but you can't use your mouse with it, so use your arrows, or you could type in, like if you type in Firefox, it'll bring you to Firefox, right? If you type in, let's close it, super key P, type in other, it's going to bring you to other desktops, but you can't use your mouse, so you hit the enter button, and it brings up this menu. Let's see if we can get into Cinnamon without logging out. Okay. Let's see if this brings me into Cinnamon. And look at this. It brought me into Cinnamon without having to log out, put my username in, and my password in. That's really nice. I like that. So let's close this. Now we're running at 902 megs. So let's go into display. And I'm going to run through this really fast. I do this in all my videos. And keep the new configuration. Let's go to themes. Let's make it full screen. Let's go into Cinnamon. Let's add and remove. Add. We're just downloading the new themes or bringing the themes up to date. And I'm going to type in Dara Dark. I'm going to download it. Go back to themes. I'm going to click this on. I'm going to click on, go back to this. There it is, Adara Dark. Then I'm going to go to icons. I'm going to click on Papyrus Dark. And then I'm going to go to buttons and then click on Addoa Dark. And now I'm going to close my themes. Now I'm going to go to the clock. I'm going to do date and time. I'm going to make it full screen. I'm going to take off this 24-hour clock. Display date. And what else? Oh yeah, and let's use network time. Okay. Now I'm going to click on the menu. I'm going to go to themes. Sorry, I'm going to go to font. I'm going to change this regular to sans bold. I'm going to kick it up from 9 to 14. And maybe that's a bit too big, eh? It was at 9. Let's go down to 12. Okay. Now I'm going to right click here. I'm going to go to applets. And was my face in the way when I was doing the clock? It wasn't. Okay. So now I'm going to move my face. And I'm going to go down here. I'm going to right click it and go to applets. Then I'm going to download. So you see this blue line, and we're updating the applets. Then I'm going to go to Weather app. I'm going to download it. Then I'm going to go to Manage. I'm going to highlight the Weather app again. And I hit the plus sign. And I'm going to close it. Oh, and it's showing it's Fahrenheit. So I'm going to go to Configure. I'm going to go into Other Options. Temperature unit. I'm going to click on Celsius. Now I'm going to close it. Now it's 18 Celsius. This is my weather app. So now I'm going to go into, let's go to Xterm. And I'm going to pin Xterm to the bottom. Add to panel. There we go. And we're in Xterm. And let's make it a little larger. And what I'm going to do is CD into Manage. I'm going to go into my arch. LS it. And I'm going to copy this dark cyan wallpaper. Okay. to my home directory. And I'm going to close out of there. I'm going to right click this, change background, plus sign, home, open, click on that, and there we have it. Now we have the wallpaper. Now I'm going to get rid of this Conky because I don't really like the Conky. So I'm going to type in the search field here, Conky, and I'm going to toggle it off. Beautiful. Now I'm going to get rid of these icons, customize, desktop settings, no desktop icons. And there we go. Now I'm going to go to package installer. And just in case you didn't notice, this is the same package installer that's in MX Linux. And also, in case you didn't notice, and I think I forgot to mention it, the installer that installs the program is not Calamari's, and it's the same installer that MX Linux uses, because MX Linux and Anti-Linux, they're partners, and they work together. So, here we're in the package manager. Let's go to browser. Let's do Brave. We're going to install Brave. Let's install it. Hit enter. And we're installing Brave through the package manager. And I'm just going to pause the video while it's installing Brave. And it's finished. So let's close it. And before we go and look at that, this is a great package manager. We have browsers. We have other desktop environments you can install and window managers. Well, actually desktop environments. You have all kinds of stuff here. Here's some window managers you can install. Well, we have lots of window managers, but so you have, this is a great package manager. And we also have the Synaptic package manager. SYN. And you can go in here and install stuff in here as well. And let's see if Brave opens up. Let's go to internet. Let's go to Brave browser. Let's open up the Brave browser. And now we're in the Brave browser. And also we have Firefox. Whoops, where did it go? I lost it. There it is, Firefox. And there's Firefox. And we have Nemo. Nemo. And we have our weather app. Now, let's say I want to go from here back into the Awesome Window Manager, but I don't want to have to log out, put my username in, and put my password in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on there, and in this field, I'm going to type in other, and other desktops come up. So let's click on that, and that brings up this menu. Now I can go into any one of these desktops, but I'm going to go down to Awesome. I'm going to click on Awesome, and I'm going to OK it. And now we're in the Awesome Window Manager. And of course, this pops up again, so I have to close it. So now we're in the Awesome Window Manager. I didn't have to log out and put my username in and my password in. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up a terminal, and I'm going to go to config, and I'm going to type in Brave, and I'm going to go right here. I'm going to uncomment this. So in the Awesome Window Manager configuration, commenting something out or deactivating a line isn't the number sign or the hashtag, it's 2 dashes. Why? I don't know. So I'm going to activate this line, Brave browser, but now I got to add something for it to work. I got to put a dash. Oops. Let's go back. I got to put a dash, and I got to type in browser. Now I'm going to save the file. I'm going to close my terminal. I'm going to restart Awesome. And let's see if it's in the menu and if it works. There it is. There's Brave. Now it's in the menu. And let's click it on. And there we are. We have the Brave browser. And now I'm going to close this. And let's see if we can get it into Firefox. And now we have Firefox. And it takes you right to the AntiX website. And let's see if Uncomplicated Firewall is still on, up and running. Sudo Uncomplicated Firewall status. And it's active. And let's do verbose. And deny all incoming. That's what we want. So let's close the screen. And now if we want to go to the other desktop, we could hit the super key and the P, type in other. Oh, before I do that, let's say we want to go into the package manager. We could hold down the super key and hit the P and type in P, A, and here it is here. Use your arrow. Okay, use your arrows, highlight package installer and hit enter. And now we're in the package manager and we can install programs from here. And let's see if we can get into the Synaptic package manager from here. Hold the super key and hit the P, type in SYN, and there it is there. You can see it. Use your arrow keys to highlight it. Let's hit enter. And now we're in the Synaptic package manager, so we don't have to go into one of the other window managers or into the Cinnamon desktop to get into the package manager, Synaptic package manager, or the AntiX/MX package manager. Now let's say we want to get into one of the other window managers or back into Cinnamon. Hold down the super key and the P, type in other. So we have here other desktops, hit enter, and it brings up this menu. Click on Cinnamon, click on OK. And it's just taking us back into the Cinnamon desktop. Click OK. And now we are in the Cinnamon desktop. And I noticed when I've been playing with it, when you switch between desktops or window managers, it takes a while for the wallpaper to come up. So let's say we want to get rid of the Conky. We're just going to put that. We're going to type in COK. And it's gone. Let's do an Htop. So we're running at 668 megabytes of RAM for the Cinnamon. That's not bad. And let's switch. Let's go back into Awesome. Other desktops. We're going to go back into the Awesome window manager. And let's do an Htop here. Whoops. So now we're running at 338 megabytes of RAM. That's not bad. I gave this virtual machine a 50 gig hard drive, 4 processors, 4 gigs of RAM, and the installer gave it 2 gig swap. I didn't choose that, it just gave it. So we're running at 342, that's not bad. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch into the default window manager. Nah, I'm not going to bother. So that is AntiX Linux. They're related to MX Linux. They use the same installer, the same package manager. It's based on Debian 12. The ISO just came out a few weeks ago. It's a fast download. It's a super fast install. It's fast at updating the system. It has about 8 different window managers with it. Plus you can install your regular ones like Awesome Window Manager and Cinnamon Desktop. And it enables you to switch between desktop environments and window managers without logging out and putting your password in. And it has a really nice looking login manager as well. I think it's a fantastic distribution and I give it 2 thumbs up. I hope you learned something today and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like it and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching. I am the Linux Mensch. Bye-bye.